So this video is a quick demonstration on how to configure OPAM with OID, allowing individuals to pass their credentials within the OPAM GUI interface, passing that over using the LDAP connector to OID, authenticating and passing back an acknowledgement in which a user can then use that username to access specific accounts. So the video just gives the step-by-step guide on how to configure that. There's another video as well on how to install it and to configure it into the state if you follow a link that's underneath. So out of the box, WebLogic can log in, but what I want is another individual other than WebLogic to log in. So I have JBlogs within the LDAP. Currently, he can't log in. If I look, this is the OID environment. I can see that JBlogs is here, and I've added the credentials for password for the user to access that. So to configure this, you need to go into the WebLogic instance. And then go to Security Realms, rather. And then My Realms. Once you've done that, if you go into Providers, and then, firstly, if you go into Default Authenticator, instead of Required, make that sufficient. So give that a quick save. And then if you go back into Providers, and then create a new provider. So if I give it, I need to lock and edit. So if I create a new one called OID, my OID directory, and then I'm looking for the specific OID connector somewhere around there. Click OK. And then if I click onto that, my OID connector, make sure that is sufficient as well. Give that a quick save. I also want to make sure that that's the first choice. So if I click reorder, push that to the top, give that a quick save as well. What I also need to do is make sure that the credentials that have been passed in, or the configuration of the actual of the realm exists. So best way to do that is to try and remember how to do that. If you go into My OID Configuration and then Provider Specifics, and then local host, this obviously being on my local host, so local host, local domain. If I go in to OID, I've connected using this this principal name and the server name and that port number. So I've tested that's good. So the port number is 3061. Principal is CN equals Oracle admin, I believe. Let me just double check that. ORCL admin. Yep. Password is password 1. Password 1. The user base DN. So this is where the actual repository for the users in which they're going to point to. So the distinguished name here, just grab that copy, and shove that in there. So what I'm doing here is looking for any CN name, and the actual individual has to be a specific person as well within the actual object class. So if I click on JBlogs, for instance, once it loads, it has load. If I click on attributes, I can see that the person object class has been assigned to that individual. So just making sure that that's good. If I scroll down, I'm retrieving the username as well, so I need to make sure that's clicked. The group-based distinguished name as well. So if I go into groups, same concept with users, but with groups. It's taking a little bit of time. Let's click on a user. Just grab that. I reckon that's good. Add that. I don't want that comma. And I reckon the rest should be fine for the default. This is all the sort of the general connection pools, etc. Let's give that a save, and then activate that. So in order to make sure that it is that the changes are actually made, I need to shut down all the servers. Well, the WebLogic servers as well as the OID. OPAM is fine, but I'll just make sure. So I have here already a shell script for the WebLogic instance. WebLogic. That's good. Once that's done, one thing to note while that is running as well, you have to make sure that OID is actually up and running. So where I'm at the middleware instance on my local environment, if you just do a quick status, I say make sure, yeah, just make sure that the status are live for the OID. So that's starting. Still starting. Still trying to start. So far so good though. Yeah, still trying to start. Maybe another minute. All right, good. And then I also need to make sure I'm starting the OID instance. And I also need to make sure I'm starting the OPAM instance as well. That one. That should be fine. Don't think if I click this, it's not going to like it. Oh, maybe. shouldn't do. Oh, it's actually started. That's weird. Okay. Let me just do a restart on that. Alright, so if I log in now, I should be able to authenticate to the OID directory. So the individual here, Joe Blocks, I've logged in. Well, it's thinking about it, but it should log in successfully. And there you go. So I'm logged in as Joe Blocks. Quick demonstration. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.